This podcast is part of the Sports History Network, your headquarters for the yesteryear of your favorite sport. You can learn more at sportshistorynetwork.com.
Well, first of all, guys, thank you for being here today. It's an honor to have you all join us for this Super Bowl trivia. Before we get started with the trivia, I mean, this was kind of for me, it was a very exciting year, very competitive year. And I think there was a lot of things to take away from this year as a whole. So if we could all kind of go around in order, and Darren, we could start with you and just kind of talk about what stuck out to you the most about the 2021 season and something that really made you think, wow, this was a really great year for football, or if you feel otherwise, what kind of detracted it for you?
Well, I mean, the most obvious thing is having more games and less preseason games. I thought that was the greatest thing. I know the players probably didn't appreciate it, but from a fan standpoint, it's an awesome thing. You know, more football is always good.
Yeah. What about you, Jeremy?
Don't underestimate Joe Burrow.
That was funny since, well, I shouldn't say not funny for you, obviously, but that game was only a few days after we had done our Titans trivia, and whenever Tannehill threw that third interception, I just thought of you immediately.
Yeah, it hurt. It hurt deep inside.
So what about you, man?
Well, I'd have to say the most important aspect of this past football season was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers repeating as champions. I'd also like to say that aside from that, the most outstanding aspect of the past season was me winning the fantasy league amongst the Sports History Network broadcasters, many of whom are here today, so you get a chance to avenge your shameful losses to me in that league.
Golf clap. All right, Tommy, what about you?
I think the thing I took away from it is the lack of home field advantage. It just doesn't seem to matter anymore. We saw both number 1 seeds get knocked out. We saw 2 number 4 seeds go to the Super Bowl. It just seems like it doesn't matter where you play anymore, and we'll see if the Super Bowl is another sign of that.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird, too, that prior to last year, we never had anybody that hosted a home Super Bowl, and now it happened 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you heard what they're going to do next year.
What's that?
They're moving it to Dallas.
From where? Oh, yeah, okay.
I thought you were going to say tennis. I thought you were going to say Nashville.
No. See, that hurts. That hurts deep for me to say that.
Too soon.
That's right, Oz.
It really is crazy, though, how Burrow, I mean, everybody knew how much potential he had, but within the past month, he really has kind of almost turned a different corner. It's almost like a new season for the guy. I mean, he's played well, but he's almost elevated himself to a different status at this point. Okay, so we are here for a Super Bowl trivia, and we are going to go in alphabetical order. I have about 10 questions for each of you and then a couple tiebreakers if need be. So we'll go ahead and get started in alphabetical order. So, Darren, you are first. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. What was the first franchise to win 5 Super Bowls?
Oh, the Steelers.
Wrong.
No. Oh. Okay. I know.
You know who it is now?
The Niners.
That's right. All right. Jeremy. What 2 franchises are the only ones to appear in at least 3 consecutive Super Bowls?
3 consecutive Super Bowls. So the Bills will be one of them.
Right.
And then you'll go back probably to the 70s. Doggone it. Would it be the Patriots?
No, it is the Bills and the Dolphins.
Dolphins, yep. 70, 71, 72, 73.
That's right.
Weren't the Patriots in 51, 52, 53?
No, they did take a 1 year break.
No, 51, right. 52, 53.
They beat the Dolphins got beat the first Super Bowl, then won the next 2.
Yeah, the Patriots were in 3 in a row.
Tommy is correct.
All right. That one I'll give to Jeremy then. That's right. They didn't. They didn't win
Tommy.
3, right?
Tommy, couldn't you find the Steelers a 5th Super Bowl before the thing to help me out? Come on, Tom.
Hey, I'm all about the pity points here, Tommy. Keep it coming, buddy. Keep it coming.
So this is why Tommy has to be beat. This is the real challenge. All right, Oz, you ready? You may not be able to take my word for it now that I've already screwed up the second question, but we'll go for it anyway.
Okay.
Who is the only quarterback to win a Super Bowl MVP without throwing a touchdown?
Oh, it's got to be Brady. He didn't throw a whole touchdown that whole first run, that whole first playoff run. He didn't throw a passing touchdown that whole playoffs. So it's got to be Tom Brady in against the Rams.
Tommy, you want to chime in?
Joe Willie Namath.
There you go.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Did Brady have a touchdown in that Super Bowl?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
final drive, I think. Their final drive.
No, the final drive was when they had the field goal.
They kicked the field goal.
He had one to David Patton before halftime.
Yeah, David Patton. Yeah.
Ah, okay. I'm an idiot. Sorry. I was clever.
All right, Tommy. What
All
was
right.
the first Super Bowl game to be played on artificial turf?
Ooh, let's see.
Typing away.
No, I'm trying to. I think it was Super Bowl 12, maybe.
Super Bowl 5, actually.
Oh, Super Bowl 5. Okay.
Was that
And where was that at?
was that at Tulane?
No, that was actually at the Orange Bowl.
The Orange Bowl. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Actually, one of the worst Super Bowls ever played, supposedly.
Oh, it was the Blunder Bowl.
Yeah. All right, Darren.
Yes.
Who was the first wide receiver to win Super Bowl MVP?
Wide receiver. I'm going to go with Swan.
There you go.
I knew I'd get a Steelers one right once in a while.
That's right. All right. Jeremy.
Ooh.
What game was Chris Collinsworth's first Super Bowl as a broadcaster?
Oh gosh. I'm drawing a blank. I could see it, but I'm drawing a blank. I couldn't tell you what it was.
Think early 2000s.
I was thinking there's a Patriots involved with it, but I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, but that's just numbers.
That's just numbers. I'm looking for the pity points here.
Well, do an impression of Collinsworth, and maybe you can have half a point for that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that good. I don't know.
Super Bowl 39.
I remember that.
That was
when Collinsworth was good.
Yeah, that's when he was the third wheel with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Yes. I actually, and to be honest, guys, I liked Chris Collinsworth at that time. I really did.
Why do you hate the guy now?
I don't hate him. My grandfather would get me if I said I hated anybody. I just don't think he's as good. But hear me out here. I like Tony Romo. So that tells you I don't have really good taste.
At times I could take him or leave him. Romo, that is. Although I guess Collinsworth too.
Just bring back Pat Summerall and John Madden. Just computer graphics them in, please.
With artificial intelligence, it's coming soon. All right, Oz. Who is the only Packers quarterback to never throw an interception in the Super Bowl?
Well, it wasn't Favre.
Right.
Let's see. I guess. Okay. Wait a minute now. Okay, so Rodgers only played in the one, right? So, jeez. All right, I'm gonna risk it and say it was Starr. Did not throw an interception.
It was actually Rodgers.
Damn.
Starr threw one interception in the first Super Bowl. But Rodgers has only been to one Super Bowl, so he had a pretty flawless game. Okay. You ready, Tommy?
Yep.
This wide receiver holds the record for longest touchdown reception in Super Bowl history.
Muhsin Muhammad.
Yep. Do you remember how long it was?
Thinking 87 or something like that.
85 yards, yeah.
85, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of one of my, I'd probably say that's in my top 5 or 10 for Super Bowls.
Oh, that was a great game. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of underrated, I think.
It was a very bizarre game.
Yeah.
Very bizarre game. No scoring in the first and third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the scoring took place, I think, in the last 7 minutes of either half. So 61 points, all 61 points in like the last 7 minutes of both halves.
Yeah, we did Super Bowl.
And you had the nipple thing at halftime. So.
Yeah, we did Super Bowl squares that year, and it came up with 2 and a 9. No one had it, so the guy who was running it just took all our money and left.
Man.
So you got into Oz's Super Bowl squares then.
That's such a horrible way to lose the game, too, when the kicker kicked it out of bounds or it rolled out of bounds. You give Brady a short field. Adios. All right, ready, Darren?
Yeah, I'm almost set.
What was the last Super Bowl to feature a pick six?
Ooh. Boy. Was there one last year? Tampa Bay and Kansas City?
No.
I don't know then.
Super Bowl 51 by Robert Alford, whenever they intercepted Tom Brady. The Falcons intercepted Tom Brady for a touchdown.
Ah, okay.
Which
Good one.
is actually the first time in the Super Bowl where a team has gotten a pick six and lost. Losers. All right, Jeremy.
All right.
Who was the last defensive player to win Super Bowl MVP?
Oh, gosh. Is it Von Miller?
Yep.
Yeah.
I can be taught.
Been too long. All right, Oz.
I won good money on him. I won good money. I bet him for MVP at 12-1.
Oh, yeah?
That covered a lot of losses. Yep.
Yeah, that Super Bowl was pretty unimpressive, too. I really don't remember much from that.
Yeah, I remember that the Carolina Panthers were favored for some reason.
Well, they were.
I remember that was the last Super Bowl I made a lot of money on betting. That's for sure.
They had I think the Panthers had a 15-1 record that year.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, they were on fire.
I remember I got to see them play against Tennessee, and they just destroyed Titans. It was awful.
Yeah. Those were was that the Jake Locker years?
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Those are
The
very.
Jake Locker years.
I think he had 2 years.
Yeah.
Did he? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Oz. Tom Brady has 5 Super Bowl MVPs in his 7 victorious trips to the big game. Who won the other 2?
Okay, well, one of them was Edelman.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, 5. Okay, so that means the other one was, Okay, so it had to have been either the Eagles or the Panthers. I'm guessing. All right, I'm going to say, oh, Jesus. It should have been Ty Law. Can I say that?
Yeah, that one, yeah.
I don't know. David Givens.
Very close. It was Deion Branch.
Oh, damn, that's right.
Was that before they traded him off to Seattle?
Yeah, that was Super Bowl and the one in 2004, so 39.
Yeah.
And then they shipped him out, as Belichick can do. All right, Tommy.
All right.
This wide receiver is one of 49 players in NFL history with 10,000 receiving yards, but never scored a touchdown in his 3 Super Bowl appearances. Who is this receiver?
Ooh. Man, 3 Super Bowl appearances. I'm going to guess Andre Reed.
No, very good guess, though. It's Art Monk.
Oh.
I was watching the highlights.
Yeah, funny thing is he did have one, but it got taken back on replay.
Yeah, that was what I was watching last night when they played Buffalo. I think like his toe had stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
Those Redskins were great during the 80s and early 90s.
Powerful teams. All right. Circling back to Darren.
Okay.
All right, Jeremy, you're in the lead right now with 2.
Oh, wow.
You got to hold on to the lead. All right, Darren, who was the first president to participate in the coin flip ceremony for the Super Bowl?
Oh, gosh. I'm going to say, I know he was a big football fan. I'm going to say Nixon.
No, wrong Republican. Reagan.
It's at the beginning of the Kurt Warner movie.
Is it really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have not seen that movie.
Underneath the opening credit roll.
Yeah, he wasn't even at the actual game.
Well, I'll call, heads.
Win
No,
one for
it
the,
wasn't quite.
Win one for the Gipper. All right, Jeremy, trying to extend the lead. This coach is the only coach to win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different starting quarterbacks.
That'd be Joe Gibbs.
Yep. Speaking of the Redskins.
Doug Williams, Mark Rippon, and oh, good gracious. Who's the third one?
The most popular one?
Yeah. My mind went blank.
Theismann.
Joe Theismann, yes.
Yeah.
You could almost say that you have a command over the Redskins franchise. You know?
If they don't make Cobra Commander their mascot, they're missing out on something.
William Riker of the Starship Enterprise. Commander Riker.
Even better.
All right, Oz. How many coaches had the distinct dishonor of having lost 4 Super Bowls?
Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, well, Marv
Just
Levy.
just the number. You don't have to give me the names. If you'd like to give me the names, you could. But
Okay. Levy is 1. Okay, I'm going to say 2.
4.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was Marv Levy, Dan Reeves,
Oh,
Bud
yeah.
Grant,
Oh, right.
and Don Shula.
Don Shula. Yeah, I had him. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Tommy.
All right.
What was the first Super Bowl to be tied going into the 4th quarter?
Oh, man. I know which one was tied going to halftime, but I don't know this one. So, I'm going to guess Super Bowl 5.
No, 39.
Wow, 39.
Eagles
Wow.
and Patriots.
Wow.
39's all over the place here.
Yeah, right. That's because I watched the NFL Films highlight the day before I wrote this. No, I'm just kidding. Am I? I don't know. Okay, Darren, we're circling back to you.
All right.
This is the first Super Bowl to feature no turnovers.
Oh, boy. How about Super Bowl 9?
No, Super Bowl 34.
Oh, okay. I should have said 39.
What about
Yeah.
25?
Those are all your other answers.
What about 25?
Was 25 one?
Yep. That
Bills
was
Giants. Bills Giants. No turnovers. Tommy is correct.
Tommy wins it again. All right, Darren, I'm giving you that one. Or maybe I should give it to Tommy. What do you think?
I'm getting assists for Tommy here.
Yeah.
I got some assists.
Tommy's scoring for Jeremy Emmy.
Actually, how about this? For every time I screw up, I'll give you all a point. How about that?
Yeah, pity point.
All right, so Oz, you finally have a point. And
Come on, rub it in.
and now I'm adding another one from the earlier mistake, because I think I gave that one. Who was the first one about the 3 Super Bowls? Whose question was that? That was Jeremy's?
That was Jeremy, I think, wasn't it?
Okay, Jeremy, I did give you that point, so I'm going to give everyone else the other point as well.
Nice.
Just for this being amateur hour. All right, where are we? Who's next? Speaking of amateur hour. All right, Jeremy.
Gotta be Jeremy.
All right, Jeremy. This defensive back was the first player to win a Super Bowl with one team and then defeat that same team in the Super Bowl the following season.
Deion Sanders. No, I am wrong. He would not have played. He had played. It had been AFC, NFC, wouldn't it? Say that question one more time, please. Deion won it back to back.
This defensive back was the first player to win a Super Bowl with one team and then defeat that same team in the Super Bowl the following season.
That same team that he won the Super Bowl with. Okay, I don't know that one.
Brandon Browner.
Brandon Browner.
He won the Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks, and then he defeated them when he was with the Patriots.
Okay, yes. That was my second choice.
Good cover.
All right, Oz, you could tie this up if you want, although Jeremy's still in the lead, so you can tie for second. Who holds the most career rushing yards in Super Bowl history?
I want to say Thurman Thomas, but I'm going to go with Emmitt Smith.
Franco Harris.
Damn!
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that 70s team pretty much, although Bradshaw had some good
Brandon.
games in the Super Bowl, though.
You didn't pass the ball that much back then. You ran it.
Yeah.
No kidding. Franco Harris. Wow.
You would figure Emmett would have had that record, though.
I would. Yeah, Emmett would
Being
have
in 3 Super Bowls where they cruised.
Yeah. All right, Tommy.
Okay.
What Super Bowl was John Madden's last game as a broadcaster?
That would be Super Bowl 36.
No, it was actually Super Bowl 43.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was thinking with Fox.
Green Bay.
I was thinking with Fox. Yeah, you're right about that. Yep.
Darren, we are back to you, my friend.
All right.
Who holds the record for the longest kick return in Super Bowl history?
Well, how come I didn't get the Franco Harris question? I knew that one.
We don't like layups around here.
Yeah, all right. Boy, I have no idea.
Although
Drawing a blank.
I'll give you a hand. You should know this guy because he was a division rival.
The division, well, eliminates one team right away.
Right.
Sorry, Cleveland fans out there. That was for you.
I didn't say any names. That was
Yeah,
Jeremy.
you did.
No apologies.
Boy, I don't know.
Jacoby Jones.
Ah,
He
okay.
scored that touchdown in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That's because he didn't have Mike Tomlin on the sideline to step out.
Oh.
Let me ask you this, Aaron.
Yeah.
How long was the Devin Hester return?
That was, I think, 100 yards. And this one was 108.
Golly. That makes me tired just thinking of that.
Yeah, they're fast, man. Is Hester in the Hall of Fame?
He should be. He's not. Well, I guess we'll find out this week, won't we?
Has he's been on there before, right, for the nominations?
Yeah, he has. Him and he should be on there.
Yeah. All right. Jeremy, we'll stay on you. This quarterback has the lowest passer rating to win a Super Bowl.
Lowest passer rating to win a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer?
No, Ben Roethlisberger. Good send off.
Ooh.
That was when he was the youngest guy ever to start a quarterback in the Super Bowl.
That was the year that the bus fumbled, and it was because of Ben's shoelace tackle that they made it to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
It's actually the first game I ever watched.
Wait, that was the one where the referees gave the game to the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's insulting.
Ben ran in a touchdown, and they gave it to him Although I think the nose of that ball did break it, but I'm not biased. Everyone knows that.
I'm with you on that one. I think Seattle got gypped out of that one.
And it was offensive pass interference.
Oh, that's for the what was it, Jermaine Kearse or Jeremy Kearse?
No, was it Stevens? It was a tight end.
Jeremy Stevens, yeah.
Stevens,
Yeah. All right, Oz. Who made the first interception in Super Bowl history?
Wow, the first interception. Oh, okay. Well, we know it was off of Bart Starr, right?
Well, that was a interception in a Super Bowl, but not necessarily the first.
Yeah, okay, right, fair enough. Unfortunately, I'm not too up on those old Chiefs and Packers, so can I phone a friend?
No.
Tommy? Pass. Chuck Howley.
No.
I would guess Willie Wood, but
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Willie Wood.
Okay,
Yep.
see? You should have let me phone a friend.
you could give him 1 point.
Sure.
All right, Tommy.
Yeah.
What's the name of the player who won the Super Bowl MVP despite being on the losing team?
Chuck Howley.
There you go.
There was.
Fresh in the memory.
Just said it.
Thinking
I
forward
just said
to
it.
the next question. But I answered that one.
All right, we're back to Darren. Darren, who was the first coach not to wear a suit and tie on the sideline for the Super Bowl?
Not to wear a suit and tie. Was it? I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Noel.
Wrong. Don McCafferty for the Baltimore Colts.
Okay.
Staying on Super Bowl 5. All right, Jeremy. What Super Bowl holds the record for the longest time before either team scored?
Record for the longest time before either team scores. It's recent, wasn't it?
Just think about this conversation.
Super Bowl 39?
38.
38.
So close, but yet so far. Oz?
How long was that? Do you know how long that was?
Yeah, how long was that?
It was, I think 4 minutes into the, or 4 minutes left in the second quarter.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, David.
What was the score? The score at halftime of the Rams Titans was 6-0 or was it 9-0?
I think it was,
Jeremy.
was it 9-3, Jeremy?
I don't remember. I will find out just a second.
Because I remember waiting a long time for the score in that game too. The second half was like a turnstile, but the first half was very slow in that game.
Well, they missed like,
Okay.
I think the Rams missed like 3 field goals.
Yeah,
in
it
that first
was
half.
really weird. Like they couldn't make anything happen.
Yeah. All right, we are at Oz. Oz, who is the only person to have played for and later coached the same team in the Super Bowl?
Wow. Okay, well, it's not Bart Starr. Let's see. He was not a great coach.
I think I know this one.
Dan Reeves?
Gary Kubiak.
Oh, right, of course, yeah. Nice,
All right, Tommy, you ready?
good one.
All right. Yeah.
What quarterback was named Super Bowl MVP despite throwing 3 interceptions?
Ooh. I am going guess Brady, I guess. I don't know.
No, it was Bradshaw.
Oh, Bradshaw. Wow. Which
And it
one,
wa-
13 or 14?
14.
And it
14, yeah.
was 9-0 at halftime.
9-0.
The Rams Titans.
Rams Titans, yes.
The blonde bomber. Okay. We are back with you, Darren. you actually have the chance to tie this up. Are you ready?
I do? Oh, okay. I don't know what miracle that happened, but okay.
Well, me being an idiot is what made that happen. So, all right, the first team to make the Super Bowl with less than 10 wins.
Less than 10 wins. Was that the Seahawks?
No, it was the 1979 Rams.
Oh, that was his name Vince Ferragamo or Ferragamo?
Yeah, that was the quarterback.
Oh, that's the greatest last name ever.
Yeah. He has a shoe company. All right, Jeremy, this man is the only Super Bowl winning head coach to play in the Arena Football League.
To play in the Arena Football League. Oh gosh. So that would be. Golly. Somebody else want to say Gruden, but he didn't play in the Arena Football League.
His younger brother did.
His brother did. Okay, say that one more time because I'm just trying to lengthen this out as long as I possibly can.
This man is the only Super Bowl winning head coach to play football in the Arena League. His wife is giving him the answers.
I wish she would. She's not here. I don't know that one.
Sean Payton.
Oh.
I said if he's the only one that was on the replacements, I'd have gotten that one. I did not know he played in the Arena Football League.
Yeah. And then they're going to make a movie with Kevin James as him.
They did already.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was referring to. I watched Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, pack on 40 pounds, you get to play Sean Payton. Okay, we're back at Oz. This game is the highest rated Super Bowl of all time with 114.5 million viewers.
Okay, most views. All right, 114 million. Because I want to say it's Patriots Seahawks.
Yep.
Ooh.
Good, thank you.
All right, I should clawing in.
Thank you.
All right, Tommy.
All right.
Ready to second guess myself there. So.
Yeah, that's actually probably one of my favorite Super Bowls too. That was probably I know everybody loved the Chiefs Bills game from a couple weeks ago, and rightfully so. But I thought that Super Bowl was as perfect of a postseason game as one could have.
They should have ran beast mode.
This should have been the intro to this thing. Is like, what's your favorite Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Well,
that should have been the intro.
That's what we're closing off on.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
That I won't spoil.
I'm just bullshitting.
They have the Super Bowl stuff out now, and they had it redo. And the main goal for that particular one is to run the ball at the 1 yard line. They say that if you run the ball at the 1 yard line, you will score and you'll get your points. Pete Carroll, you would have 2 rings by now. Just run the ball.
Do you think it's still a stupid call if they do get the touchdown?
What? No, of course not. But I still think, why? If you got beast mode, why do you pass the ball?
Yeah.
Because Belichick mind tricked him, man. He Jedi mind tricked him.
Or you have Russell Wilson.
Dark Emperored him.
Yeah.
Bootleg.
But the interesting thing about that Super Bowl is that it was the only one that went off as a pick'em at the sports book. You'd think that would happen a lot more often, but in fact, it's the only playoff game that's ever gone off as a pick'em. So just to show you the oddity of that game, that was the real, I think, last time we really had top team against top team. Top team in the AFC against top team in the NFC.
They were both the number 1 seeds that year.
I don't know if they were the number 1 seeds. They were
just that dominant. Yeah. Well, I guess they had to have been because I think that's the same year that the Packers had gone and they were actually up on Seattle and they had that fake field goal and then the guy, what's his name, Chris Matthews, the receiver, caught that onside kick. Anyway. All right, Tommy.
Okay.
Which quarterback started the phrase, "I'm going to Disney World"?
Phil Simms.
There you go. Tommy takes the lead.
Super Bowl 21, right?
Yeah. That was 1986, so yeah.
Yeah.
21 to 22. Speaking of Super Bowl 49, Darren, who was the intended receiver when Malcolm Butler intercepted Russell Wilson on that pass in Super Bowl 49?
Intended receiver. Was it Lockett?
Yep. Ricardo Lockett. All right, Jeremy. Which franchise experienced the longest Super Bowl drought from the time of their first appearance to their next one?
Chiefs.
There you go. We have a two-way tie now. Oz, you should remember this. What season did the Super Bowl kick off after 6 p.m. for the first time?
I don't like the insinuation, but I believe that would have been Super Bowl 12, the Broncos and the Cowboys.
Nicely done, sir.
Yeah, but for it to be 6 o'clock his time, it would be like 9 or 10 o'clock our time for him. That's 6.
Oh no! I was in New Hampshire at the time. I was in New Hampshire at the time, and I remember Super Bowl 11 is probably the first football game I remember, and I remember that was on during the day. But then I remember that 12 was at night because we were like ready. I knew what the Super Bowl was that time. so I remember both of those distinctions. So yep. Hey, good on me. I finally get one.
God, can you imagine like watching a Super Bowl at 1 o'clock and then having nothing else to do?
Hey, I lived in Budapest for 15 years or whatever, and there the Super Bowl starts at 1 or 2 or even 3 in the morning, guys. Now that's a chore. Like sometimes they would illegally leave the bar open for the Americans.
You want to talk about pregame coverage?
At 1 there. So. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was the kind of thing where you go to bed and take a nap at like 10. And then get up and go to the bar, but that's tough. Never mind East Coast, man. Try GMT.
Except your employers aren't going to be understanding if you show in late.
Right, exactly. Right. Super Bowl? What is this? Super Bowl. Football?
Get the hell out of here. All right, Tommy. This Super Bowl was the first instance where the team with more offensive yards lost the game.
Super Bowl 2, maybe?
No, Super Bowl 26, the 49ers versus the Bengals.
Wow.
Yeah, the Bengals outscored them that day, or got more yards. Which, I don't think I've been able to see that game on YouTube, unfortunately. Not that anyone cares. Anyway. All right, Darren. What was the first Super Bowl to be played in a dome?
First Super Bowl in a dome. Trying to think here. Super Bowl 15?
No, it was actually 12.
Well,
Ironically, the same year they went to 6 p.m. Yeah, that was, I believe that was in the Superdome. Yeah. All right, Jeremy. First Super Bowl game to be played in February.
Oh, that was after 9/11. So that would be the, oh gosh, that'd be the Patriots Rams.
There you go. Jeremy has taken the lead.
I'm going to take a knee.
Just don't pull a New York Giants where Herm Edwards comes and take it from you. Don't hand it off. Okay, Oz. This franchise became the first NFL franchise to reach the Super Bowl with 15 total wins.
Okay, let's see.
Hey, Tommy, can you push your mic back a little bit?
Oh, sorry.
You're good. Thank you.
15 total regular season wins, right?
No, 15 total wins.
Gee, I guess those old Dolphins then, the 71-2 Dolphins, right?
No, the 1968 Colts.
Oh, they did. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they went 14-1.
Shows what I know.
And then they played or they went 13-1 and then played two teams in the NFL and then lost to the Jets.
Okay. Right, great. Hey.
Okay. Tommy.
Yeah.
The most recent Detroit Lions quarterback that was drafted by the franchise to win a Super Bowl with another team is who?
Who?
This was originally a question for Arnie Chapman, who declined to attend.
Oh man, I really have no idea.
You want me to give it to you?
Yeah, I don't know it.
Charlie Batch.
Oh, didn't have to be a starting quarterback.
Right, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry if I didn't make that clear enough.
He was a Steeler, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Evil.
Yes, he was.
Evil one. Evil question.
Okay, currently Jeremy is in the running, so let's see if everybody can find a way. Well, I guess it's impossible, but we'll go ahead and give the questions anyway. Okay, Darren. What Super Bowl was nicknamed the .com Bowl for the amount of internet ads throughout the game?
Oh, boy. Super Bowl 43. I don't know.
No, it was actually the Super Bowl 34, Rams-Titans.
Oh, did I say 43? I meant the other way around. The numbers reversed. I'm dyslexic.
Oh, man, it's got dyslexia. Give him a break.
Yeah. Well, there is one more question. I can ask this, and then if we're still tied up, I can pull up Wikipedia pages. But Oz, you currently have 4. Jeremy, you have 6, and Tommy, you have 5.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go ahead and actually, this will be the question that I'm not going to give an answer for until someone gets it right. How about that? All right, Jeremy. Super Bowl 27 featured a halftime show with Michael Jackson, the first worldwide performer to do the Super Bowl halftime show. The decision to book Jackson came after Super Bowl 26 lost viewers at halftime on CBS.
In living color, yeah.
I thought that was actually a worthwhile question. All right, well, Jeremy has 7, and he has a stout lead.
Go J-Lo.
Now, hey, by the way, why I knew that, I was watching some stuff today. I did a little homework. In Living Color came on 15 minutes because Up with People or something, they had horrible halftime performances, and In Living Color came on, did 15 minutes, and then they said, no, we can't do that anymore.
They replaced it with the Puppy Bowl.
Yeah. Puppy Bowl's great.
I've actually never seen the show. That's with Jim Carrey, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, he was
Jim Carrey, J-Lo started there. The Wayans brothers.
It's like 87 Wayans, David Allen Greer, and Jim Carrey, basically.
Wonderful.
He had, if you can watch Jim Carrey, I think he's like a chef in one of them, isn't he? Or fire marshal. He's a fire
marshal Bill.
Yeah, the fire marshal was a big one, and he always got to play George Bush, right? He always played the
Jamie
president.
Foxx, I think, got his start on that show, too.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, Fox was on that show.
Do you guys watch Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Absolutely.
Did you ever see his? Did you see his sketch comedy show Fridays?
The thing that was supposed to be a competitor to Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, it had Michael Richards on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Supposedly it has the worst skit of all time on it, right? It's the marijuana sketch with Andy Kaufman.
Oh, I've never seen that.
It's amazing. It's amazing, yeah, because, okay, so they set up this premise, and it's totally fucking stupid. And so it involves, like, 4 people sitting around, and they all sneak out at one point to get up and get high. Well, it's Kaufman's turn to come back and pretend to be stoned, and he just zones out and goes, I can't do it. I can't play stoned. I can't pretend like I'm high. And, like, he's doing this scene with Kramer. Michael Richards or whatever. And then finally Richards like, what the hell's the matter with you? And he goes off stage and he gets him the cue cards and he throws them on the table. It's like the whole skit just ends.
Oh.
And it's an amazing skit. It's on YouTube.
It's so bad.
Supposedly it's like the worst sketch of all time. It's great. Oh, because Kaufman is just like, he totally subverts the whole thing.
Nice. Well, folks, that is the end of our trivia with Jeremy McFarland coming away with 7 wins. Jeremy, how would you describe this moment?
I'm going to Disney World, but I need to have a GoFundMe page.
We'll put together a link. That's what I'm going to do for you for winning. I'll set up the page for you, and then my job is done.
Link at the bottom.
That's right. So back to the earlier topic of discussion. What's everyone's favorite Super Bowl? Starting with Darren.
I had 6. Guess which ones they were. No. No, I'll tell you what. I think probably the greatest one we talked about. I mean, I love that Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl. I thought that was great. I love the Giants and the Bills Super Bowl with the wide right. I thought that was a great Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to choose from. Those are probably my 2 favorites.
Jeremy.
Super Bowl 32. I got to finally see my man John Elway win a Super Bowl. I remember where I was, and I was at Freed-Hardeman University at my hall, my dorm, and I went out the door and yelled out finally, and people were looking at me like, what? I said, this is 20 years of frustration right now. Gone. So, yeah, Super Bowl 32.
This one's for John.
This one's for John.
Oz?
Well, for a long time, I was a Super Bowl 35 supremacist, right? Because you had, the Bills Giants, you had, came down to the last play, no turnovers.
25,
like
you mean?
Demonstrated. 25, I'm sorry. Like we demonstrated in this show. Thurman Thomas had a monster game. It was Bill Belichick breaking the no-huddle offense. Because you remember, that was the team that Marv Levy invented the no-huddle offense. Right? That's it. So we take it for granted now, but that was the first year it was in play. And, you had this very interesting thing where in the Super Bowl, the Giants had 3/4 of the possession time. But it was a tie game. They crushed it on possession time because the Bills were in a hurry up the whole game. And, but recently I've been thinking about that Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl. And again, the 2 best teams, the 2 teams that had won the last 2 Super Bowls meeting, teams of an era. I mean, Pete Carroll was basically considered one of the best coaches in the league at that time, and Belichick was probably at that time considered number 1. So, just all things considered, that one, I think, probably. It's a tie. It's a tie. I love them both.
Yeah, well, that was a Super Bowl that was supposed to start the Seahawks dynasty as opposed to just being a one-off, and that's the Super Bowl where the Patriots, that's the one where Brady tied Montana for 4. And that was the season where people were wondering if it was time to put in Garoppolo. But yeah, that was the Seahawks had like a 10-point lead in the third quarter, and New England came back big time. But that was an entertaining game. Tommy, what about you?
It has to be Super Bowl 42. I mean, there's never been a more consequential game in NFL history because Patriots win that game. They finish 19-0, and they are undoubtedly the greatest team of all time. New York Giants were just a wild card team. They had 6 losses. They weren't supposed to even be in that game, and they end up pulling it out on the helmet catch and everything else that happened in the final minute of that game. And, just total underdog winning the Super Bowl and ruining what would have been the greatest season ever. So that's why I go with 42.
Would you say that's
There's
a big?
A lot of great.
Go ahead, Austin.
Sorry, go ahead. Oh, okay. I was just going to say there was a lot of great narrative about that game, too, because as we now remember, we might not remember if the Giants had lost, but you remember week 17, the Giants played the Patriots, and both teams at halftime, they said, okay, guys, do you want us to sit? Do you want to rest up for the bus? Both sides said no. The Giants played it out. They figured out what makes them tick. They crushed that offensive line, which was one of the best features of the Patriots that year. And I also think it's interesting because you look at it, whereas in 2002, these guys go from the plucky, unknown underdogs and double-digit underdogs to being, the Dark Empire and being double-digit favorites in this game. So it's just that one Super Bowl, Tommy is right. It has a great story behind it, great consequence behind it. And as a result, we remember stuff that went into it. Whereas, again, we might not if the Patriots had gone undefeated.
Don't know if you could see this, but this is a book by somebody around here called The Great 80s. Fascinating book. And if you want to read about a conference losing, the AFC just did nothing during the late 80s, middle of the late 80s. I want to say, Tommy, you might know this better than me, but wasn't the Raiders the last AFC team to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, before the Broncos did in 97.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a book that gives you everything you want to know about the 80s, there's one by a guy named Tommy Phillips. I don't know if you heard of. Pretty good book.
Thank you.
I mean, that kind of thing can't just happen by coincidence, right? I mean, everybody in the NFC really has to kind of be doing something that the AFC just couldn't catch up to.
It was.
Look at the 70s, though. The 70s, it was almost the other way. The
Yeah,
AFC dominated the 70s.
Yeah, that's true.
It was Joe Montana. I mean, seriously, Joe Montana. When you have somebody like Montana come in, and then you have Phil Simms won one, Hostetler won one. Was he in the 80s?
No,
Tommy?
he was 90s.
1990.
He was 1990. Okay, you go back. Phil Simms won in 86. In 87, it was Doug Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you keep going on. They just had pretty solid
Jeremy,
quarterbacks.
perhaps you need this book.
Oh!
Yeah. This is great product placement.
Yeah, I mean,
I was showing nifty 90s for the audience out there by Tommy Phillips.
I mean, if we're in this part of the show, let's go back to the 1920s, and let me tell you about the podcast I'm working on. What was that? Oh, yeah. The other thing I wanted to say, too, is, okay, what was one thing that the NFC was doing that the AFC was not? Well, here you go. I remember watching that fourth Bills Super Bowl. The Bills were up in the second quarter, and then they flashed this graphic, and it was average weight, Dallas defensive line versus Buffalo offensive line. And there was like a 60-point average advantage. And that's really what the difference was. The AFC were teams built for speed. They were Marino's Dolphins. They were the Bills' hurry-up offense. They were teams that were built to go fast and score a lot of points. But, I guess in football, size matters. And size wins. If they say defense wins championships, well, be bigger on defense. And for a long time, that's the way the NFC was built. They just got the bigger guys.
Well, that's interesting, too, because the year that Pittsburgh went to the Super Bowl and lost to Dallas in 95, I mean, they always have the idea that they were a running team, but Neil O'Donnell threw the ball probably more than they ran that season. I mean, Darren knows you had like Yancey Thigpen, Bruner was a bruiser, but, I mean, they had receivers that they were running. Cordell Stewart, they had like 5 wides a lot throughout that season.
Andre Hastings.
Yeah.
He almost came close to tying the Super Bowl record for catches in a game that year. So they were throwing the ball a ton in that Super Bowl, even though everyone thought of them as a running team.
Yeah, and they never really went into it earlier. They kept starting to start drives by running the ball, and they got nowhere. I mean, what's his name? Dick Enberg was like, just start throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you guys have like any
two receptions by Larry Brown that killed him?
Yeah, MVP. So do you guys have any predictions for Sunday's game?
Let me get mine real quick here. In fact, I have a lot at stake on my Madden cards. I picked the Bengals to win 35-21. And I hope, because I tell you this, I was a Bengals fan with Boomer Esiason, James Wood, Chris Collinsworth, Ickey Woods. I can do the Ickey Shuffle today. I know how to do that. Now, being older, it would hurt more, but I know how to do it. But I hope that when Burrow wins it and Chase wins it, they give him offensive line protection. But I hope by the time that people are done that they bring up Ken Riley and Ken Anderson and put those guys in the Hall of Fame where they belong. Good gracious.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Win
but
35-21.
That might happen, but
Yeah.
the second part of your statement's not going to happen. Darren, what do you think?
I don't think the Bengals. I'd love to see the Bengals win, but I don't think they have the offensive line, and I think the injuries at their tight end's going to hurt them. I'm going to say 38-20 Rams.
Oz?
Guys, I'm betting the under. You're giving too many points out, man. I'm going Rams 26-23 in overtime. Aaron Donald MVP. Or Cooper Kupp.
What about you, Tommy?
Last year, I chickened out of picking the Buccaneers to win, even though all signs were pointing to them winning. So this year, I'm not going to chicken out. I'm going to go with the underdog, the Bengals, and Joe Burrow wins MVP. So, yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like Cincinnati has come of age in the course of a month. I mean, it's weird because throughout the season they had like so many inconsistencies. Like they would just win a game really impressively, then they would lose a game where they didn't even look that sharp. And now, even the Raiders game, they weren't that sharp, but it's like once they played Tennessee and then they had that little bit of a fire in their eye, especially for that Kansas City game. What's up, boss?
But do you really trust that line?
There have been worse
offensive line.
There have been worse offensive lines to win Super Bowls.
Not against the Rams' defensive line, though.
Yeah, exactly.
But Kansas City's defensive line is no joke either, though.
No,
but but here's the thing. For me, this is what I thought. I thought the reason why Kansas City did so well against Mahomes is what? They dropped 8. Mm-hmm. Okay? Guess what? They're going to try and do that against the Rams, too, because the Rams got no run game, right? But the Rams just might have enough weapons at receiver where that's not going to matter. Yeah, and again, I think that on the defensive side, that offensive line can't stand up.
But I think Matthew Stafford is good for a turnover per game, and that could come at a very opportune
absolutely
time.
He is. Absolutely, no question. Let's just hope it's not the Ty Law pick 6.
Right.
If you're betting on the Rams. So.
Jeremy, what were we gonna say?
Oh no, I'm just laughing at this. I just love these two teams that are. Of course, they're not the team I wanted, obviously, but these are teams that no one anticipated. Maybe the Rams a lot more than the Bengals. But you're seeing teams that Matthew Stafford can finally win a Super Bowl because of all the stuff he had to endure with the Lions, and the Bengals will overcome 3 Super Bowls that they've lost, 2 or 3,
2,
and they can win 2. They've lost in the 80s, twice in the 80s. They can win their first Super Bowl. So imagine this. This is a lot of good stories.
Yeah. Tommy, being that your podcast is centered around Lombardi in the Super Bowls, were you rooting to see a 49ers Bengals just to get the 3 matchups?
Yeah, I actually was. I have a friend who's a really big 49ers fan, so I was kind of pulling for him, even though the 49ers knocked out my Packers. So I was hoping the 49ers would get there and then have a third Super Bowl between those teams, because that would be the most, tied with the Cowboys and Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And, but Hart dropped that easy interception. And if he doesn't drop that interception, I bet the 49ers win.
Yeah, that was horrible. And Sean McVay did everything to lose that game too. Those are just two coaches who couldn't get out of their own way. Are you a little skeptical about Aaron Rodgers and kind of the idea that you could win another championship with him, Tommy?
I just say just run it back and try again. I know that he's failed in the playoffs more times than I can count, but he at least gives the team the best shot of getting into the playoffs. So I want to see him come back, even if it means another heartbreak in the playoffs again.
Yeah, I'd still probably go with him over Jordan Love anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, Darren, in terms of the Steelers, who's going to be the quarterback next year?
I think it's going to be somebody that's not on the roster this year, and it's going to be a veteran. And I'm leaning towards it might be maybe a Garoppolo, maybe somebody was maybe on the bench this year for another team.
Mariota.
Mariota, that's a possibility. Maybe
Bubby Brister.
Bubby Brister.
Can you imagine if Rudolph lost out to Brister?
I think, I heard the best theory that I heard them do is to get Jameis. That's the best one I heard. Invest in the offensive line, get Jameis so you don't throw a lot of interceptions, lean on your offensive line and Najee Harris for your offense and play defense. I think that's the smartest thing I've heard. I hope they do that.
Gardner Minshew?
That wouldn't be bad either.
I don't think they would go for that.
So?
You're talking. I don't think that's much of an
Uncle Rico.
Yeah, I don't think that would be
Uncle
much
Bale.
of an upgrade over what's his name, Rudolph, right now.
Wow.
I mean, the guy went 1-15 in Jacksonville, and Jacksonville's a horrible team.
No,
But he's got
Gardner
a free
Minshew,
shoe though.
He built the hospital that he was born in. He is that good.
What about the Titans for next year, man? Are you off the Tannehill train, or are you ready to put his head on a platter?
Because
I am.
I am sitting
Just
on
kidding,
my couch. I am sitting on the couch watching the game. I'm not the GM. I'm not the coach. If he had made a couple different plays, they would have won the game. Absolutely. But do we have a better chance to win without him? No, we don't. So just keep number 17 in there. Keep him in there.
He did make it a pretty insane throw, that back shoulder touchdown to A.J. Brown.
Of course, Julio's gone. There's a chance that Taylor Lewan's gone. They've got to re-sign some people, but as of right now, they're over the cap by about $5 million. Tannehill, this is pretty much, I believe, the year that if the Titans are going to win the Super Bowl, they got to do it. They got to do it. Otherwise, Henry's going to fall off. Tannehill's going to fall off. It's going to be a little rough. So yeah. I've trusted him.
You think Vrabel, if he doesn't get further in the playoffs, is going to be on his way out the door?
The funny thing is they re-upped the contracts for both Vrabel and Robinson today.
Oh, wonderful.
So, yeah. So I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah. Oz, what about you? What are you looking forward to next year? You're not actually a Rams fan, are you?
Yeah, kind of.
He is this year.
Yeah, I'm kind of.
Geographically, it's convenient.
It's kind of like, whoever I'm betting on, like a lot of times I'll follow who I'm covering. Like there was a little while when I was covering, it was pretty funny for one of these early websites in the early aughts. I was covering the Lions, Raiders, and Bills, and they were all terrible, but I was really into them. I covered the Lions 0-16 season. I was on that beat that year. But then I was a fan of them. I remember being a fan of the Patriots in the early 2000s because I won a ton of money off them that year. They won the Super Bowl against the Rams. So I'm everywhere. I just like to see what's going to happen. Now, from a prediction standpoint, that AFC is going to be really interesting because we think there's a lot of talent there, and the balance was certainly there this year. But I think a lot of teams are going to have a down year next year. I think if Buffalo doesn't win it, you're going to see somebody we don't expect. You're going to see like the Jets. You're going to see like some crazy like Denver in the Super Bowl. Because I just don't see it. I don't see Cincinnati doing as well. I mean, just have we forgotten who the coach of that team is? And I can't imagine they'll be as good. The Raiders certainly won't be as good. The Steelers are going to be rebuilding. The Patriots, I don't think so. The Dolphins, if the owner can afford it, they'll go 0-16 next year, 0-17 next year. If he can pay out that $1.7 million for losses. Who do you like in the AFC next year? So I guess that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to that early line on Bills to win the Super Bowl.
See, I'm almost tempted to say the Chargers, but I feel like Brandon Staley is standing too much in the way. I mean, when you go for it on your own 18-yard line in the third quarter when you're only down by 3 points, you're letting the Excel sheet just call plays for you at that point. I mean, that was nuts. Tommy, what did you make of that?
Of what?
Whenever the last game of the season with the Raiders and the Chargers, when Staley went for it on third down or fourth down from his own 18 in the third quarter, only down by 3.
Yeah, some really crazy ideas there. I guess whole analytics thing. Coaches just go by the numbers now. They don't, go by personnel or anything. They just say, okay, we're 4th and 1 here, we're going for it, and they just go for it. That was a weird game, and still really surprised how that one turned out.
Yes,
it would have been really crazy if they would have both made it in on a tie. It wouldn't have felt right, but it would have been kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, the most unlikely thing to happen for the Steelers to sneak in almost happened.
Yeah.
And I think they would have happened that way had Staley not called that timeout, because then when they ran the ball again just to run the clock out, they got that first down and they just went for the win.
Mm-hmm.
I would have to think that the Raiders just didn't want to play Kansas City the week after, so they figured just go for the win.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, this has been an extraordinary time, and I'm glad that you all took the time to participate. Jeremy, congratulations. I'm sure on your list of accomplishments in life, this must be below the bottom, but thank you for taking the time anyway, and thank you all for taking the time.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Enjoy the Super Bowl, everyone.
Thanks. Go Rams.